Let's make a staging mechanism. You'll need old pens, tape, Gardena quick connector, springs, 2 pins, bottle cap, clear tubing, epoxy, drill bit, wire and T8 FTC. The first thing we need to do is cut about 70 millimeters of the FTC and another 35 millimeters. Now what's really important is to get the edge square. So just use a piece of paper and you line it up exactly, and then just trace around the edge with a marker. And then just use a pair of scissors to cut it to exactly the mark. After you've cut out the 2 sections of FTC, then the shorter one you just need to split lengthways. Next you want to take your Gardena quick connector and remove the collar, and you do that by putting in 3 pieces of plastic underneath the tabs, and then you just pull back to remove it. Now you want to take out the spring. It can be a little tricky. And then make sure you don't lose your little tabs, and put the collar back on. So what you'll need to do is get 4 of these springs. Just use old quick connectors. Next what you need to do is plug the hole with a bit of epoxy, but first rough it up with a bit of sandpaper so the epoxy sticks better. And then get a piece of modeling clay or blue tack to seal it as you put the glue in, and just push the quick connector into it. Next, mix up epoxy and start putting it at the bottom of the connector carefully so you don't get any on the sides. And just do that until you have about 5 to 10 millimeters thickness at the bottom of the hole. Next you get your cap and just remove the seal from the inside. What we have to do is cut a hole inside the seal, so just use a Stanley knife. Now it's not critical, and then you can put that back inside the cap. Next you'll want to get some of this clear tubing, and this one's 5mm outside diameter and 3mm internal diameter. These are available from aquarium centres and that sort of thing. You may find it in a hardware store. It's not real critical what the size is, the smaller the better, and it needs to be fairly flexible. Okay, next you'll want to get a 5mm drill that matches the diameter of the tubing exactly, and just drill a hole in the top of the lid. It's not critical where, somewhere in the middle. Next what you want to do is drill through the hard epoxy using the same 5mm drill bit. Once you finish drilling the holes, you want to check to make sure that the tubing is a snug fit inside both of those. Next we're going to make a non-return valve for one end of the tubing, and we make it out of old pens, out of the small conical section at the tip. You should have one of these at home. So what we're going to do is cut that off, insert it into the tubing, and use a pinhead as the valve itself, and we're going to use a second pin to secure it so it can't fall out. So what we've done here is we've cut the tip of the pen, and it's got a conical section, so a bigger hole and a smaller hole. And we put the pin in and just make sure that it sits snugly at the bottom of the hole. Then what you want to do is cut the pin off with it so it's nice and short. So what we want to do is push that into the tubing. Now, because it is quite difficult, we can use just a pop rivet held in a vise. Put that on there and then just push the tubing over the pen tip, and you can push fairly hard. You can try heating it up, but this is fairly easy to do. Just keep pushing until it won't go any further, and that's about as far as this tubing will go. So that's nice and secure now on the end. Okay, so what we've done is we've made a little hole inside the plastic simply by heating the pin and pushing it through. It's easier than drilling it. So we assemble the non-return valve. We put in our pin head. We insert the other pin all the way, and then what we want to do is cut it so it's fairly near the end, and then just bend the end of the pin so it can't come out. It's a little tricky. So you want to get it all the way over, and this stops the internal pin head from coming out, and now the pin head's secure inside and can't come out. You may also want to further secure the tubing on the pen tip, so just cut off a piece of wire and wrap it over the tubing a couple of times and then twist it together, and this will just help make sure that the tubing does not slide off. Use the pliers to tighten it, cut off the excess, bend it up, and that's your non-return valve finished.